Okay, now we're going to talk about the news media. What is news media? Okay, so news media is said to be omnipresent in the society. You receive news from almost everywhere. Omnipresent means dia ada di mana-mana sahaja. Okay, it could be through the traditional media and nowadays, of course, online or digital media, right? But of course, it started dengan mainstream media. Well, the first printed weekly was in 1605. It was discovered in 1605, although before that it started even before century dekat Rome, all right? And then media was transmitted, news was transmitted to the society through television, which started in 1940s. And of course, more about the development or history of television from other courses that you have learned, and you will also learn more in media and society later. But this is just to state that the news has been with us for many many years, right? Regardless of its form, whether it is printed, it is on TV, and of course in 1990s, because of the emergence of the internet, we also receive news from the World Wide Web or the internet, right? And the media have had over the years helped to shape people's attitude, yeah, on issues that are diverse. Okay, why we say diverse? Because basically news covers almost everything that you can talk about, from weather to recipes to crisis to fire accidents, terrorism, and now a lot of more of other things that sometimes will make businesses, or not only make, tapi macam menjadikan organisation tu lebih responsible and accountable for their actions, because it requires them to be very transparent in their transactions. Okay, why? Because media will always be there to put some spotlight on you, because businesses cannot be separated from the society. It is part of the society. The society needs to know what you do in your organization, whether they are directly linked to you or not as a stakeholder group. Okay, so and there is a concept of free press, yeah, maybe not in Malaysia, but in many other countries, Western countries especially, for example, like in the United States, where sometimes free press like this makes politicians more responsible and accountable for their actions, and therefore you will see balanced reporting of political parties and also politicians themselves, unlike what we see in Malaysia, because we know the media are mostly owned by the ruling government. So, well, now sebab it's a new Malaysia, so we don't know what's going to happen. But 2017 and before, we understood that the media stood for the government, operates for the government, and therefore will only put up news, yeah, for the ruling government lah, yeah. Also, uh, many of us still strongly believe, yeah, about the right to freedom of press, although this may not be the case in Malaysia yet, yeah. But it is also we would also support the idea, yeah, of news not to disseminate information that is malicious or that has intention to bring down people or degrade people, and especially in a multicultural, multiracial country like Malaysia, there needs to be some control to what the content of the news is. Okay, and of course, because of businesses that operates in the Malaysian landscape as well, uh, the coverage that media gives them, or the spotlight that they put the businesses under, makes the relationship between media and businesses becomes more aggressive, yeah, from time to time. Especially in times of crisis, again, why I would reiterate this, because when there is a crisis, businesses tend to shun away the media, which is not right. Yeah, again, in times of crisis, media should be number one. News should be number one, because this is your means, yeah, to get your messages across, to tell your side of the story, yeah, and to engage with the society to tell them what's really going on or what your organization is doing about the crisis. Okay. uh, in years before, corporations enjoyed privacy, in the early part of the century. So it made the relationship between media and businesses strained. Okay, uh, the media does not interfere with businesses, and the businesses choose to not use media, to disseminate information about themselves or the organization. But because of the advancement of technology, you cannot not have media intervention in your business. This intervention now becomes sort of a disturbance, or it makes the business becomes unaccustomed, to dealing with news media, and most company simply acted that the media does not matter. uh, but later in the 20th century, companies were forced to rethink, this isolationist approach due to a number of development. Of course, when your nation develops, there will be more laws and policies, or new laws and policies that are developed to ensure that the living becomes somewhat easier for everyone, and also the base structured and organized, the society. So this includes law, that governs the disclosure of certain information of public companies at regular interval. For example, companies that are public listed in Malaysia now, uh, they are governed by the Securities Commission, under which they are required to send quarterly reports, and disclose information, especially to their investors. This includes profit margin or loss, or any announcement in structural change in their organization that is important for the knowledge of their investors, and although also other stakeholder groups. Okay. The last two events in particular, the increase in public and media interest, has had a profound effect on business and its dealing with the media. But what is certain is sometime in 1970s, not only in the US, but maybe 1980s in Malaysia, business coverage started to change. Since then, the private sector has become more public. Okay, they are more accepting towards the news media, and also the intervention of media. I may not say intervention, it's more of a collaboration, between organization, businesses and media in their day-to-day operations. Okay, so now, why does this happen? Okay, this shift, actually happens because people came to realize, that business has a tremendous effect in their lives. Okay, business cannot operate in an isolation as a silo, because when you set up or run a business, bukan intervention, collaboration, engagement, dengan society is inevitable, tidak boleh dielakkan. uh, Bila you ada business, you want to open up your factory, you open up in industrial areas, but to go through in the industrial areas, you may need to pass by, housing areas, school areas. So therefore you are already involved, with the society that surrounds that factory. Okay, but also at the same time, the product and services, that is produced by your organization, of course, is used by the society. And don't forget that businesses, especially production, manufacturing, leaves environmental footprint. So this is where the involvement with the society is really at large. All right. So, and then people begin to see that company, they control important parts of their lives. Of course, they determine the products and services. They determine the price, and therefore determines your perbelanjaan. But at the same time, they have this big effect on the society. They don't answer. They are not answerable to the society. So people start questioning, why are they not able to hear from the businesses? Why are they not answering to our questions when we are end user of the products? Okay, so special interest groups starts to emerge, to advocate certain idea or certain cause that they are fighting for, especially when it comes to environmental matters, as well as things that impacts the society. Yeah, so when there is interest groups such as this, or there are interest groups such as this, this interest group uses the media to voice out their opinions. Okay, that's why people get to know or find out, yeah, if there is any mishappening, yeah, is the business operations, or there are perhaps certain scandals, yeah. This public interest group becomes the whistleblower. You can look at it that way, or the informant, yeah. And this is done through the media. So that's why sometimes company don't see it coming, yeah, and it becomes a crisis rather than an issue that they can handle from the beginning. So business leaders, from on the other hand, were used to the privacy that they had maintained for decades, yeah, and at this time around, when there is news media punya collaboration, or news media punya influence in businesses, they were reluctant to admit, yeah, that times have changed, yeah. But of course, this kind of attitude is very risky. You know you cannot live without the media. You know you cannot operate without the media. You need their help, yeah. However, but then each industry has found itself the subject to some level of scrutiny from the media. Bigger companies, or companies that have big names, yeah, may appear in the media on daily basis, yeah, but small companies, even very small ones, akan ada lah at least satu, yeah, one or twice, yeah, mentioned by the media, numerous kind of media, of course, yeah, and even more so now, because you yourself, the organization themselves, control the social media. You are everywhere, yeah. You disseminate information everywhere through the use of your social media, and but still many companies learn the hard way, yeah, to have the a poor or non-existent relationship with the media in these situations will only make it worse. Okay, I selalu cakap dalam kelas, do not tackle the media only in times of crisis. Build a good relationship with them right from the very beginning. Not only build, but maintain that good relationship, because once they continuously know that you are a good organization, or you are organization that cares for the society, etc. So when crisis hits, they will not condemn you that much. They will be on your side, right?